So you want to get internet fame and learn how to model awesome things to show off. You're not alone. In this tutorial you will learn how to model a Viking axe, in our case the Leviathan axe from God of War, which can be used for rendering or for your next game project. We start to block out our handle with a simple cylinder, rotate it, scale it in the x-axis, bring it in position and delete the outer faces. Add some loop cuts with Ctrl R and with proportional editing select loops and create an interesting shape for the axe handle. Shrink it in the y-axis, and to fill out the outer edge loop, press Ctrl F and click Grid Fill. Let's now create a plane, go in Edit mode, and with Vertex Select mode we will select and delete 3 words. Now we have one to work with. Press E to extrude the vertex to create your shape for your X. You can connect 2 vertices by selecting them and pressing F. Start with a low vertex count and decrease it as you need it. You can add additional vertices between 2 the same way you do loop cuts. Your shape does not have to be perfect, since we will later switch to sculpt mode. When you're done, we will fill it out. Filling out shapes is pretty simple. You can split most forms into circles in order to fill them. The goal is to have a topology which allows nice loop cuts. Let's inspect a complex shape like the axe. Even complex shapes are circles. Watch what happens when I move the vertices of this X shape. You have a circle, and to fill it out you can inset the outer vertices and connect the inner. So let's fill out our X. I will extrude the middle part to make it more interesting. When you filled out your shape, you can use vertex smoothing for a better topology. For this stage, I will add additional loop cuts and try to have an even-sized quads. Alright, let's make an axe out of our plane. Add a mirror modifier and mirror it by the z-axis. And with proportional editing, I will move my middle part to the left to give it a curved shape. You can press G and use your mouse wheel to control the radius. And with clipping turned on in the mirror modifier, you can move the vertices of the sharp edge back until they clip to the mirrored part. I use smooth vertices quite often to correct the flow of my words. Now deactivate clipping and move all vertices a tiny bit to the left to just leave a little gap between the mirrored part. Select the outer edge loop, turn on clipping again and extrude it to close the gap. And I forgot the bottom part. Oh man, let me quickly fix it. Like I mentioned, smoothing out vertices helps you to contain a smooth shape. Use the settings to change the results. Let's add some loop cuts for additional topology and add a subdivision modifier. Now we have to sharpen our edges again using the knife tool. And when you ask yourself, what the f is this guy doing there? Here's a quick explanation. When you have a quad, you can increase the number of edges with loop cuts. But what if you want to leave one edge on the left side but 3 on the right? You can use the knife tool by pressing K and cut it so you have a single happy edge on the left. It's the same principle when you use inset by pressing I on a face.
But why should I care?
Glad you asked. When you have a complex form with many vertices, doing loop cuts will result in more polys with an uneven topology. In this case we have 308. With 2 loop cuts it's 616, but with a nice cut it's just 360. If you still don't care, here's a use case. When you add a subdivision modifier, your shape is rounded, so you have to add additional vertices to the sharp parts. You can be a noob and add loop cuts, or be a real gangster and cut it in pieces. So, since I'm pretty gangster, I will do this here, and here, and here, and here, and smooth out my verts. Apply all modifiers, add a multi-resolution modifier and subdivide it once or twice before we continue with sculpting. I will first grab the grab brush, turn on Y mirroring and correct my shape a little bit, but since I'm already satisfied with the model and there is not much to do, I will increase the number of subdivisions and start adding the engravings. To do so, I will pick the mask brush with full strength and hardness and start to draw on my model. You can change the radius of your brush by pressing F, and by holding down Ctrl you can switch between adding and removing mask. You can also switch between the brush strokes, for example to draw straight lines. Stroke stabilization is also useful to draw nice curves. You can be pretty creative and take your time. This is sped up by like 20 times.
In reality, this is the real speed.
Alright, let's pick the mesh filter with default settings, invert our mask and inflate our mask a little. With the mask still active, you can smooth it out with a low strength, and after clearing the mask, smooth it out again. Using the same process as before, you can add as many details as you want. What is a Viking axe without ornaments? Let's pick the inflate brush and open a new texture, like this one. Mask out our circle, choose an anchored stroke and apply our texture. You can find a link in the video description for the ornament alpha textures I'm using. Let's leave our axe for now and continue with the handle. Here I will use dynamic topology with a resolution of 80 to increase our level of detail, and use the draw brush with the lowest strength to mark the parts where I want to add more detail. And again, mask the parts you want to edit, and use draw, smooth and grab to sculpt your shape. Now to the art part. I don't know what else I can tell you here what you didn't learn already. The horse took me about 1 hour to model. It's always important to start with a rough shape and get more and more into detail. Use masks, take your time, use reference images, check out the different brushes and the use cases. You have to practice a lot. When I started with 3D about 1 year ago, my sculpts look pretty shitty. But now after about 100 models, I'm pretty satisfied. If you're interested in the full process, leave a comment and I will upload a time-lapse video. add tiny detail, you need much more polys, but this will also slow down our system. So I retopologized the handle to use the multi-resolution modifier and transferred the details on my new model. Add multi-resolution, shrink wrap, set the target to the old model, project as wrap mode, check negative and subdivide a bunch of times until all details are transferred. Apply the shrink wrap modifier and you're left with a high detail model while still having a low poly count on your original mesh. With a subdivision level of 5, I can now add additional ornaments and even a wood structure to our handle. Be creative and test things out. With my favorite brush, the scrape brush, I will make the edges of our X more interesting and call it done. Now to the last part, the leather wrapping. Let's create a cylinder, scale it down, delete the upper and bottom face, and now we have to create a modifier chain. Start with subdivision, add shrink wrap and choose the handle as the target, select project, above surface and check negative. Add a solidify modifier and adjust the thickness. Apply rotation and scale by pressing Ctrl A. And now just test different settings for thickness and the shrink wrap offset. Shade it smooth and add a loop cut to the top and the bottom. We should actually move the subdivision modifier to the last position. Now add a displace modifier. We will use a vertex group to control the shape. So create a vertex group and select it in the modifier. Now go into weight paint mode by pressing Ctrl Tab or on the upper left side of your screen. You can now draw weights to set the displace. But first decrease the brush strength. And the displace modifier should be after the shrink wrap. You should now be able to add or subtract weight to change the shape. Now with all modifiers, you can copy-paste the cylinder by pressing Shift-D, rotate it and create an interesting wrapping. And then just go into weight paint and paint. And maybe you should increase the mid-level strength. Let's check out our result. Awesome, I'm such a genius. And after UV unwrapping, baking the details, and some texturing and substance painter, this is the result with 15K polys and fully game ready. If you're interested in the texturing process, check out my bone shield tutorial, where I go more into detail for these steps. Alright, see you!